Welcome back, fight fans. Welcome back. Let's just dig right into it. Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence Jr. is one of the biggest fights of the year, in my opinion. To me, personally, I think it is the biggest. Canelo Alvarez is always going to probably have the biggest domestic fight in the U.S., but I think this year, Mikey Garcia is giving him a run for his money against an Errol Spence Jr. by moving up in weight, attempting to become a 5-division world champion. Not many people are giving him a chance in this fight to win this fight. Mikey Garcia believes that his skills, his abilities, his IQ, and all the intangibles that he brings to the fight that favors him over Errol Spence will lead to a victory over Errol Spence. Errol Spence and his side and his corner and a lot of the media believe that if you look at Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence, it's too big of a weight jump moving up 2 divisions to 147 pounds to fight a fighter who's not even a natural 147 pounder, to fight a guy who's basically should be at 154 pounds at the very least. So when you break that down and look at that and be 100% honest and unbiased when you review that, you realize that Mikey Garcia is in for a very difficult fight. In my opinion, I have this fight as a 50-50 fight. A lot of people have it as a it's a huge off fight, 80-20 or something like that. 70-30, and I believe they're not giving Mikey Garcia enough credit. They're not giving his IQ enough credit, his power, his ring generalship, his speed, his conditioning, the fact that he's working with the snack program, or his experience. People aren't giving Mikey Garcia enough credit in this fight. Yes, Mikey Garcia could get stopped in this fight, but so could Errol Spence. I know a lot of people like to disregard that and believe Errol Spence is this unbelievable fighter who can't be hurt, who can't be beat, who can't be broken. But Errol Spence Jr. is human, and he's fought a lot of lower level fighters, damaged fighters, and fighters who haven't accomplished things that you would have expected. Mikey Garcia is a 4-division world champion whose skill set has transcended weight classes, who does not reach for knockouts. So when you hear fanboy responses like, why didn't Mikey Garcia knock out Adrian Broner? Why didn't he knock out Sergey Lipinets if he if he's such this great knockout artist, if he has all this great power? Well, let's look at those fights and be honest and objective. When you look at Sergey Lipinets against Mikey Garcia, Sergey Lipinets came into that fight at the weight of a middleweight. And if Sergey Lipinets, and this is a direct quote from Mikey after the fight, if Sergey Lipinets would have got in there and were a little more, aggressive, he would have gotten knocked out. Mikey Garcia had already dropped Sergey Lipinets, so Mikey Garcia didn't need to take any unnecessary risk to go out and attack Sergey Lipinets any further, because he was clearly winning round by round by round. It wasn't a close fight. There were close rounds, but it was not a close fight. Mikey Garcia clearly won that fight, and no one would dispute that. Now, when you look at the Adrian Broner fight, Adrian Broner felt Mikey Garcia's power from the opening bell and ran the entire night. He did not want to engage. He did not want to fight. Mikey Garcia started to slow down towards the end of the fight, got hit with a few good shots, but Adrian Broner still didn't do enough to win any of those rounds, in my honest and unbiased opinion. Because when you look at Adrian Broner, all he did was pot shot a few times, back up when Mikey Garcia got aggressive. But that's a tendency that Mikey Garcia has had in certain fights, is that he would slow down towards the mid to late in those fights and let the other guy back into the fight by establishing a little bit of momentum, a little bit of rallies, because Mikey tends to get tired to mid to late in fights. But that's the reason why Mikey Garcia is working with the snack program, so he can keep his endurance going, so he can keep his momentum up, and so he can not have those lulls like he did against lower tier fighters. Because if you look at it like this, that Mikey Garcia pretty much dominates any and everyone he steps into the ring with, and the only thing that's ever kind of made him not less than perfect is his own endurance and training. And now he's done things that he hasn't done. He hasn't done ab work in over 5 years. Mikey Garcia is working with the snack program, whose main focus is endurance, speed, timing. And these are all things that Mikey Garcia are doing to prepare for an Errol Spence Jr., because Errol Spence Jr. is going to apply relentless pressure against Mikey Garcia, and Mikey Garcia will be ready for that challenge endurance-wise. He is prepared 100% by sparring full-fledged middleweights. He sparred even smaller guys for speed and boxing style. Mikey Garcia is going to be prepared for everything, so he has sparring partners for speed, for boxing, and for size and power. So Mikey Garcia stood up and passed the test in each one of those departments, and that goes along with his natural IQ and ability. Now, when you look at Errol Spence Jr. and his low IQ, has he ever had anyone in his, that he's fought that has been anywhere near the level of Mikey Garcia? Absolutely not. He fought a C-level Lamont Peterson. He fought a damaged Kell Brook. So he's never had a top tier level opponent. He fought a Chris Algieri who had already been beat down by Manny Pacquiao. So you don't have an opponent on Errol Spence Jr.'s resume that you say, you know, he has these skills that Mikey has. He's proven, and he has multiple world championships, like 4 divisions. You don't have that on Errol Spence Jr.'s resume. There's nothing on his resume that indicates elite status. So when you look at Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence Jr., the key is, will Mikey Garcia get robbed against Errol Spence Jr.? This is the question that a lot of people have been having, because when you see PBC fights, you've been noticing a lot of robberies lately. You notice Matt Korobov get robbed against a Jamal Charlo. You notice, Eddie Lara, and a lot of people felt like he got robbed against a Jared Swift Hurd. You notice other things where people consider robberies as well. You notice Yordenis Ugas get robbed against a Showtime Sean Porter. You notice Tyson Fury get robbed against a Deontay Wilder. These are all PBC fight cards and fighters, and these guys are getting robbed against the favorites in these fights because guys don't want these guys to lose. So for some reason, all these questionable fights and these judging are coming in, and these guys are getting robbed fight after fight after fight. So that's why people are starting to worry that Mikey Garcia, should he go the distance with Errol Spence, will he get robbed? And I think that's a legitimate and valid concern. And, a lot of people say, oh, it's not going 12 rounds. It's not going to. But what happens if it does? Because people tend to think that Mikey Garcia is going to be some pushover, easy fight. He went 11 rounds with a broken Kell Brook, but Mikey Garcia can't go 12. He went 7 rounds rather, with a C-level Lamont Peterson, who's not half as good as Mikey, and he went 7 rounds with him. So this is what I'm saying. To say Mikey can't do it is ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's absurd. Now, if Errol Spence Jr. hit him with the right shot, gets very aggressive, does something spectacular, yes, he could get him out of there. But if Errol Spence Jr. gets sloppy, he could get stopped as well. You can't write off Mikey Garcia's power, timing, IQ, and precision. This is going to be a very good fight. I think it has a likelihood of going 12 rounds, but I think a robbery is very possible. I think that this is something where the judges could ignore things and give the fight to Errol Spence Jr. because they feel he's the bigger, stronger man, because they want him to move on, because it looks like here, and for some reason, the PBC does not want their favorites, such as the Deontay Wilder, such as the Jamal Charlo. They don't want these guys to lose fights, and they don't want, I'm quite sure, for Errol Spence Jr., a guy they want to make a fight with Manny Pacquiao and all these other smaller fighters, guys that are smaller than him, to build his name and build his brand, all while avoiding Terrence Crawford. They don't want Errol Spence Jr. to lose. And so at this point, it makes me wonder, are they protecting Sean Porter and trying to keep him with the belt so Yordenis Ugas doesn't get it? They don't want the best fighting the best, because Yordenis Ugas beat Sean Porter. So how do we know, Tyson Fury beat Deontay Wilder. So how do we know that Mikey Garcia doesn't come in there, put on a boxing clinic, and does not beat Errol Spence Jr. because the judges give it to Spence? All these Spence fanboys are lying and say, we'll give it to Mikey. We all know the truth. These guys are fanboys. They ignore facts. They think it's an easy fight, and they'll be shocked when it goes 12 rounds. If Errol Spence Jr. doesn't get hurt himself along the way. But once again, unbiased as always, it's the IBFP. Please share, like, and you must absolutely subscribe.